Hey guys, it's Saturday night at 8 p.m. and here we are for our live session, our Q&A. So I'll be sitting here for a few minutes waiting to see who gets on. It's been a good day. Hope you guys have had a good day too. Hi Whitney, good to see you. I'm going to go through some stuff tonight just about starting up and the stuff we need. And I'm really sorry about this glaring off my glasses, y'all. I have tried everything I can to get this moved and repositioned so that it don't glare so much. I may have to keep my head down a little bit so that I don't blind y'all. Excuse me. I'm going to go over, I do have videos that on the YouTube that cover a lot of this, but with so many people starting this week, I think I've received 14 notifications of people that are starting this week, which is just crazy exciting for me. Let's see. Sorry, didn't mean to throw y'all away. But it's just, to me, 14 people starting in 1 week, and we had 18 more people join the group. It's just so exciting to me that so many people are taking the opportunity to take their health back and to get healthy, and it's not always about weight loss. You know, it's about feeling good again and feeling like yourself. Oh, that's awesome. Are we the same age too? I think I'm older than you are, Whitney. But it should be pretty close. It's an easy calculation anyway. If you watch that one video that I have for the macros calculation, oh yeah, I'm way older than you. Like more than a decade older than you. Excuse me. So you might want to figure those macros, because it would count my metabolism as being much slower than yours. Yes, I will actually be 48 years old in July. So you're 35. My oldest daughter is actually about to be 28. So she's closer to your age than I am. Well, but thank you. That's very flattering. I actually feel much younger since I started this. I was starting to feel really my age and a little older until I started keto. And now I just feel awesome all the time. So I'm just excited about that. I wonder where everybody's at. This is unusual. Normally I have several on here by now, and it showed up it's listed as, this is listed as public, isn't it? I can't check it while I'm on here. Let me see. It should be public. Either way. Alright, I'm going to give y'all just a few more minutes to get on, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started, because some people will watch this after, and they'll get on there and see if they'll watch it later. So the first thing that I want to do is just welcome everybody. I want everybody to know that the Sassy Keto Nurse, I am fairly new and just started the group and the page back in March. So I've only been doing this for about 6 weeks. I'm very excited about it. I had really made a change in my life, and it's changed everything about me, how I feel, how I operate daily. It has just been amazing what it's done for me, and I just felt like the best thing that I could do was to share it with anybody and everybody that wanted to learn. So I started the group. I then started the page on Facebook, and I started a YouTube channel. If you have not gone to the YouTube channel and checked it out, please do. It is same type thing. I'm Sassy Keto Nurse, and on there it will have all the videos. I think I've got 17 videos on there right now. I've been trying to get some more uploaded, but there's something going on with the upload speeds, and it's messing my editing up, and I've got a bunch that's going to be going on there, so it's probably going to blow up here in about a week or so as soon as they get this thing straightened out with my page, and all those videos are going to upload. But for tonight, on Saturday nights, every Saturday night at 8 p.m., we have a live session. I talk and I answer questions that are posted during the live, and I try to cover subjects that have been asked about or touched upon during the week in the group or on the page. I also have email that you can send to, and especially on the page, it's very easy to get to my email. It's just a button at the top of the page that you can just tap on, and that way I know what everybody's looking to learn. I know that I have a lot of resources on there. I haven't really learned how to get everything organized yet, so excuse me for that. If y'all have any tips or tricks, let me know, and we'll try to work it all out. We're growing together. Actually, we're shrinking together. But anyways, so resources. Y'all, everything on the internet is not a great resource, okay? You have to check and make sure that whoever you're watching on these YouTube videos, these group pages that they have, these regular pages, make sure that they're reputable. Make sure that they're doing their research, that they're not just reposting something they've seen somewhere else, because I've seen that a lot, where maybe someone like myself who was just starting the keto way of life just pretty much reposted everything they saw in groups that they were on, and they didn't do any research and check it out. And I would find out later when I researched things that it wasn't true, that, you know, and that can be a big source of a stall. That can be a big source of just feeling like, you know, getting discouraged. And when you get discouraged, it's very easy to step away from this way of life. Keto is, in my opinion, very simple. It has been the easiest thing I've ever done. I know a lot of people that are on here now and in the group and have started the program have tried other low-carb programs, and this, for some reason, keto is just so much easier because you're really not having to completely exclude things from your life. There's always an option in keto. Excuse me, y'all. My allergies are killing me, so I ask you to please just look over that tonight. So when you're looking at these resources, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's in Pinterest, make sure you do your due diligence. If it's something that we haven't talked about, ask a question. Send me an email. Drop me a private message. I'll be happy to answer those questions. Okay, the other thing is that this week I've had a couple of instances of people posting promotional stuff on the group page and on my other page in their post, and I'm not going to be allowing solicitation in the group or on the page, because that's not what I'm about. I'm not about, you know, growing these other businesses. I don't support a lot of supplements. I don't support a lot of pill taking. For the Sassy Keto Nurse, this is about whole foods and doing this as naturally as possible to get away from all that and to allow your body to heal and to function the way that it's supposed to function. So that's that, and I've said that blurb. So on to the matters at hand tonight. The first one I would really like to talk about is getting started. Like I said, we've got a lot of people that are going to be starting on Monday that have let me know, and they're like, you know, what do I need to do? What exactly do I need to do to prepare this weekend? Well, the biggest thing is take a step back and congratulate yourself for deciding to do this for yourself, for your family. I actually have a family that is starting on Monday, and I'm just so excited for them, because if you've watched my intro video, you know that when I started this journey, I started it with my daughter, and it was an incredible journey for us. You know, it still is. She's at her goal weight at this point, and so she's got a little more leeway than I do, but she's always my sounding board. She is always the one that I go to if I'm having one of those days where I just not sure what's going on with my food, or I just have one of those days where I'm just not hungry and I can't decide, do I want to fast or do I want to just eat a little something, you know. I just call her up and we talk. And so make sure you have somebody like that on your team, on your, you know, your friends. You've always got me. I am always here. I do have a family. I do have a full-time job. So if you message me or if you text me and I can't answer you at that very moment, then then I promise I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But sometimes it does take a little while. Well, that's something, Sheila, that for me, that was part of the reason I started this journey. I wanted to get away from taking all those pills and everything else. Now, I do, on occasion, take a vitamin C or a D if I'm feeling off. But for the most part, I get everything from food sources. I drink apple cider vinegar. Well, I make a drink that I sip on throughout the day that contains apple cider vinegar, no salt. It's the KetoNurse, and that's, yes, y'all, I said KetoNurse. It was developed by Dr. Ken Berry and his wife Nisha, and they have a video on their YouTube that shows you how to make it. And once I started using that, I have not had any trouble whatsoever with my electrolytes since then. Now, the vitamin D supplements, if it's winter time, I will take a vitamin D supplement just because you don't get out in the sunshine enough. And there's not a lot of food sources to get vitamin D from. But as far as these dietary aids that are out there, no. I don't do any of those. I just feel like that's a waste of time. The exogenous ketones, I don't do those, and I don't support them because all the medical research that I have read, and believe me, y'all, I have read a lot over the past 8 months. All the medical research that I have read shows that exogenous ketones literally is just really expensive pee. And that's just the truth. Your body does not utilize them. Yes, if you use urine strips, they'll look great on urine strips because you'll have those ketones in your urine, but your body doesn't absorb them and use them because your body needs to make the ketones that you use in this way of life. That is where you get that energy. That is where your body finds that healing. That is when the cells in your body, you need to make those cells work. You need to make them, you need to make your liver process the fat and produce those ketones. You need to do that because that is what then pushes all of that sugar and that garbage and all that junk and all the water and all the other things that your body is holding on to in those fat cells. It gets rid of it. If you're using exogenous ketones, well, then your body doesn't have any reason to make ketones, and therefore you don't lose the weight as fast and your body doesn't heal. I have said for several weeks now, because I've finally realized that the weight loss is a side effect of this way of life, the number one part of this is the healing. Your body will heal. You will feel so much better. Is it going to happen overnight? Not necessarily. I will say that many times it takes several weeks, depending on how your body is, how healthy your body is when you start. If you have a lot of healing to do, if you have fatty liver, if you've ever been told by your doctor that you may have fatty liver, it may take your body a little while longer to get into a nutritional ketosis state. Now, you can get into ketosis in just a few days, but to get into nutritional ketosis, where your body is constantly, all the time, burning that fat and getting rid of those fat cells and emptying all that out, and dumping those hormones, the bad hormones that we hold on to. That's what you need. And sometimes it takes a little while to get to that place, just because your body has a lot of healing to do. So welcome to the journey. This weekend, what I want y'all to do, everybody that's starting on Monday, you need to make sure that you get your weight, get your pictures. And y'all, I know that people don't like to take those before pictures, but you don't have to share them with anybody but yourself. Get the before pictures. Get your full length front, full length back, full length side, and then I want you to do a headshot. You'll notice in a lot of my progress photos, they're headshots, because I didn't have a lot of full length photos when I started, because back before I started keto, I didn't want full length pictures taken of me. I was very good at getting those pictures from right here and up, so that all you saw was the face, because you can get an angle on your face to where you look really slim, even if you're not. And I had perfected that for the most part. So I want you to make sure you get all 4 of those poses, and I want you to be wearing something that shows your figure, even all the lumps and bumps and rolls and all that good stuff. Wear some workout gear, some, just some leggings and, a tank top, something of that nature, so that when you take these progress photos, you see the difference. Another big note that I can tell you is a piece of yarn. Okay, yarn don't cost nothing, y'all, or just a piece of string. And I want you to take that piece of string, and I want you to have a piece of string for your hips. Hey Bree, how are you doing, baby girl? That's my daughter, y'all. I want you to take that piece of string, and when you measure your hips and your waist, those are the 2 big ones for me. I want you to take that string, and every single month when you do those measurements, I want you to do a new piece of string, and I want you to hang it next to the first one, so that you can see. Oh, okay. Well, you girls have fun tonight. Tell Cherokee I love her. But make sure that, well, your hips and waist started rather large, but they're not as big as they were. Brianna lost almost 20 pounds when she did keto back in January. She just kind of slipped off the wagon. I'm trying to talk her into jumping back on. But anywho's, so you're going to do those measurements. You're going to get that yarn, and I want you to hang them up. Put them in your closet, y'all. I don't care where you put them. I just want you to be able to go back and look at them. It's like having a bar graph that's free. And it does make a difference, and it is super encouraging. All right, when you do your measurements, you want to make sure that you measure your neck, both biceps, chest. And y'all, you want to measure your chest at the apex, your biggest part of your chest. Then I also want you to measure your bra band, okay, under your breast, because that makes there's a big difference that happens there too. Your waist, your hips, and both thighs. Every month, pick a day. It can be on the 1st of the month, every month, no matter what day of the month you start. Okay, everybody's going to be starting here on Monday, which will be the 9th. That's my youngest daughter's birthday. But next month, do it on the 1st so that it's easy to remember. That's what I did. I started on July 21st, and I do my progress photos and everything else all on the 1st. You've got track thighs, sister. Those aren't thunder thighs. But think of yourself as beautiful. Always, always. We are beautiful no matter what size we are. Okay? We are beautiful. It doesn't matter how big we are. And the truth is that I've learned that better since I started this program than anything. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I find myself beautiful now. I'm very proud of myself. And even at the weight that I was before, I can see that I was beautiful then as well. Okay, I just am much more comfortable now. I can touch my toes and tie my shoes, and I can put on compression socks every morning before I go to work, which I couldn't do before. And at night when I come home, my feet aren't swollen to a 3+ edema, and my toes, I don't have to elevate my feet every night when I come home. But the next thing I want you to do, you've got your measurements, you've got your pictures. It's time to go to the store. All right, and this was a big question that I got this week. So when you go to the store, absolute necessities, y'all, the things that you're going to want. You're definitely going to want butter, okay? Best is grass-fed butter, which is Kerrygold. They do sell Kerrygold at Walmart. Kerrygold is a little more expensive than other butters. I personally have gotten to the point to where I buy one box of Kerrygold each week because it tastes incredible. Y'all, honest to goodness, it is so good. It's really good butter. But then for my cooking and all that good stuff, I buy the Great Value Sweet Cream Salted Butter. And I buy the double pack that has 8 sticks in it. So yes, if you added that up, I buy 12 sticks of butter a week, and I use every bit of it. I'm going to give you a minute to let that sink in because that's a lot of butter. But yes, I use every single bit of it. I use an entire stick of butter every morning for breakfast. By the time I scramble my eggs, make my BPC, set up my condiment containers for the day, which I've already done usually on Sunday because I do my meal prep on Sundays. But yes, butter. Next down the line there, you're going to be coming to sour cream. You want full fat sour cream. Do not buy anything that says low fat on it, please, because it's not going to help you out. You need that fat. This is good fat. It is good for you and your body will use it. Full fat sour cream. If you like cottage cheese is an option. Cottage cheese is, make sure when you get cottage cheese that you get the highest fat cottage cheese you can find. The most I have found is the 4% milk fat, and I do have it on occasion. I'll have like 4 ounces of cottage cheese with a tablespoon of sugar-free peach preserves, but I don't do that very often because I found that it does stall me if I have that very often. It's just a sweet treat that I have every once in a while. Going on down that line, you're going to come to the eggs. Now, every week I buy 36 eggs. Now, that's not just for me. Okay, it's not just for me. I have a 18-year-old boy in my house and a 17-year-old young lady as of Monday. So I feed all of us, but yes, I buy 36 eggs a week because I scramble eggs in the morning. I do egg muffins. I also, my kids have absolutely fallen in love with the mug cakes. So those require an egg each. So I've got them for those. And I have been experimenting here lately with some recipes that I'm coming up with. And so I do a lot of that. And if it's something that I find has way too many carbs in it after I've made it, or it's something that stalls me, then I give it away. You know, give it to my mom and dad, or give it to a friend, or just throw it in the trash, to be honest with you. I've done that a lot lately because I've been experimenting. In the beginning, you guys that are starting on Monday, please, I know we're talking about buying you groceries, but before I say anything else, keep it simple. I've said this 1,000 times and I'll say it 1,000 more, I promise you. Keep it simple. For that first month, okay, I've said 2 weeks in the past, but I think it should be the first month. For that first month, keep it as simple as possible. You know, eggs, bacon, just the absolute basics. Eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese. You can have full fat cheese, y'all. The hard cheeses are better. Shred them yourself. I do buy regular shredded cheese because my kids use it a lot. I shred my cheese that I put into my foods just because cheese has starches in it. It's usually potato starch that keeps it from sticking together, and it will stall you as well. So cheese, lots of sour cream, fatty cuts of meat. And when I say fatty cuts of meat, y'all, that means the cheaper cuts, to be honest. Ribeyes are great, and I'll have a ribeye maybe once a month. But I love to go and just get the fattier cuts, the ones that are cheaper. The more fat and the marbling that you see in a steak, That's what you're looking for. I also love corned beef. I do not buy it in a can. I get fresh corned beef. You can do chicken. But when you do chicken, you want to do thighs or wings with the skin and bone. Because the skin is where all that good fat's at. And the bones, you can keep those bones and boil them off later for bone broth. Or I personally, I don't make my own bone broth, but I do buy bone broth every once in a while and sip on it like hot tea in the evenings. It's very good. But basics, super basics. Whitney, you live here in Clayton, and most of the ones that I've talked to this week that are starting on Monday live here in relatively really close to where I am. So we don't have a whole lot of options. We've got Ingles, Andy's, Piggly Wiggly up in Dillard, Walmart. Okay, Walmart has what's called ham pieces and ends. It's spiral cut ham pieces and ends, and it's over in the refrigerator section that's in the middle. It's like right at $5. It will last all week. Those are so awesome for lunches because you can do that with some cream cheese with a little seasoning in it. And I'm going to get to the seasoning. I had talked to some ladies earlier this week. They wanted to know what my ranch seasoning was. And I had posted a post in the group that showed how you can make all the different seasonings, taco seasonings and all that stuff. But I couldn't... The ranch was in it, I thought, but I didn't see it. So I have written it down, and I'm going to share that with you tonight. Keep it simple. Stay on the perimeter of the store. Okay? Perimeter of the store for the most part. You're going to get green vegetables, leafy green vegetables. I like broccoli, cauliflower, kale on occasion. I'm not crazy about kale, but I will fix a great big salad about once a week with like 3 cups of kale and then romaine and baby spinach and all that kind of stuff, and get some really good leafy greens in there. Cucumbers are great for dipping if you're a chip eater. If you were a chip eater before you start, you're going to want something crunchy. Okay, pork rinds. But please don't do like the barbecue pork rinds because I made that mistake. Okay, I will show you. I actually have them right here. I kept them so that I could show them. Hey Lisa, how you doing, hon? I kept them so that I could show you. These are the barbecue pork rinds. I do not eat them anymore. They were in there in my kitchen on top of the refrigerator for my kids because they've got maltodextrin, they've got sugar, all kinds of stuff in them. So now what I do is I just get the plain pork rinds, and those are perfectly okay. You get the plain pork rinds, and you do some of these seasonings. You know, whatever seasoning you like. I like them with Cajun seasoning on them. It is so good. If you've got that crunch, it satisfies that chip craving. And in the beginning, this first week or so, if you have not done low carb before this, you are going to crave sweets. You are going to crave those crunchy potato chip type things that you had before. So for the crunchy potato chip type thing, we're going to do pork rinds. You can do pepperonis. The little pepperonis. I'm so sorry. It was supposed to be public and shared to my timeline, and apparently it's not. Y'all do me a favor right now and share. Brianna, Lisa, Whitney, everybody, share the video right now so that the people that are in the group will see it, and so that people on our timelines will see it. I don't think I can share it when I'm videoing it. But that's what we need to do. We need to share it. And I've got to figure out why it didn't show up public and share to the group like it was supposed to. That's why nobody's on here. I guarantee it. That upsets me. Because this is a good one. This is a great one. We've got so many people starting on Monday. Okay, so you've got those cravings. Another great thing. Pepperoni. That's where I was going. pepperonis, they're so cheap. They're so cheap, y'all. You can take pepperonis and put them in the microwave. Who knew? I figured you'd have to bake them, and that was just one more time I had to turn on my oven, and I don't turn on my oven anymore if I can help it. But pepperonis, take 3 or 4 of them, stick them on a plate, stick them in your microwave for like 20 seconds. Y'all, when you take them out, and you got them sitting there, and you've made some of that ranch dressing, or you've just made some, best thing in the world, you can just take sour cream, put whatever seasonings in it that you want, and dip those, listen to me, potato chips, pepperoni chips. They are so good. Another great thing for crunchy, you can buy them at Walmart or you can make them yourself. They're called wisps. I thought that I kept the bag in here so that I could show y'all, because now those didn't last at my house. I'm not going to lie. They were gone in no time. And I bought the cheddar wisps. They're up at the deli section in between the cases where the meat and the cheese are, and they're WHISPS wisps, but you can make them at home cheap. You just take parchment paper, put it down on a cookie sheet, and then, like I said, I do all of my own cheese, but now for the kids, I'll do theirs because they love them too, and I just use the sprinkle cheese. And y'all, I don't look down on anybody. If you need to use sprinkle cheese starting out, use it. If it stalls you, then you know you can't use it, okay? I don't look down on anybody for doing what they have to do, as long as you are doing your very best and trying. You know, ask me questions, I'll try to tell you. But you just take that shredded cheese on parchment paper, and you just put it in little piles like this big, on little piles, and you stick it in the oven at 425, and you watch it after about 5 minutes, because at about 7 minutes, hey Debbie, good morning honey, I hadn't seen you in the morning in a while. You watch it, because after about 5 minutes it's going to start to bubble up. Once it starts to bubble up, then you're going to want to watch it as soon as the edges of it start to turn brown. Take it out, set it on top of the oven or over on the counter where it can cool. When those cool, they are perfect cheddar chips, Parmesan chips, pepper jack chips, Colby jack chips, y'all, whatever. And they are great for dipping or just sitting and munching. Okay? Now, you don't want to eat a whole bag of them or a whole stack of them, but they're great for snacking. And it's all fat. Okay, it's good fat. That's what you want. So, pecans. You can do pecans. Pecans are great for snacking. What I do is I fry bacon, and I like the, I make it myself though. It's just the baking chocolate squares. I buy those, and I melt it down, just like 2 squares of it. I'll melt it down in a little bowl in the microwave and put some, hey Jessica, I knew sharing that video would help. Y'all, everybody that's getting on right now, share again. Okay, Debbie, Jessica, you guys share again, because apparently it didn't show up on my timeline like it was supposed to. It's good to see you, Jessica. So I take the baker's chocolate and like a teaspoon of coconut oil, and I melt the chocolate first, and then I put the coconut oil in it and stir it up really good, and I add just a tiny bit of sweetener. And when I say tiny bit, y'all, I mean like a pinch. That's for me, because I don't need it real sweet anymore. When you first start, you might, okay? And that's okay. If you're using the right kind of sweetener, that's okay. Because you're going to want to, you don't want to eat a lot of sweets in the very beginning, because then you're not going to kick that sweet craving. But you need to address those things with something that is keto compliant, so that your body reaches that nutritional ketosis stage, okay? So what I do is I mix that all up in a little tiny bowl, okay? I don't make a whole lot of it, just a little tiny bit. I fried my bacon. I take that chocolate and I put it in a Ziploc bag and cut the little corner out of it, and I pipe that chocolate onto those bacon pieces. I know everybody's sitting there going, what? I I put it on the bacon pieces, and then I stick a pecan on it. And when those completely cool, I put them in a little container. I stick them in my refrigerator. It is one of my favorite snacks in the world. It is so good. You're getting the fat from the pecans. You're getting the bacon. You're getting the dark chocolate. That dark chocolate has potassium. It has magnesium. You'd be really surprised at the good stuff that you get from the things that we think aren't good for us, okay? Like chocolate. Okay, so that's a good snack. Also, I have found lately, and I posted in the group that I had to ease off on my raspberries because the raspberries were stalling me. Fruit is okay if you go with like berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries on occasion. Strawberries are very high in fructose though. But I have found that for me, it's not a big option because even my raspberries, I was only doing like 4 or 5 in my cream cheese stuff that I was making, and I stalled big time. I knew it within 2 days. I could tell the difference. I felt different. And you will get there. I announced at the beginning, and a lot of people that are on here now are watching because we have a lot of people starting on Monday. 2 weeks, Lisa. It could be too much protein. Have you done your macros? Did you figure your macros up with my video? Because make sure that you're watching that protein close. Try to stay close to the macros that you figured up. Never go over 70. For females, you don't want to go over 70 because anything over 70, it will stall you pretty quick. And it's easy to go over in protein because protein hides just like carbs do. It really does. And they don't put correct counts. And it's very hard for us, unless you're weighing absolutely everything, which I do not. I do not have a food scale. I've been told several times that I should get a food scale because I find that when I stall for a day or 2, or if I get too much protein, that I will feel bad. And to be honest, for me, I'm getting to a point now that when I stall or when I eat something that I shouldn't, I can actually tell kind of where it's coming from. And that's exactly what you need to do, Lisa. Now that you've been doing this for a little bit, just start playing with it. Drop your protein, raise your fat. That's the first thing you always want to do if you experience a stall. Drop your protein, raise your fat, track. Track everything that goes in your mouth. And I mean every morsel, even if you cheat. Track it all. I apologize to everybody on here that is on my FitnessPal that has been following me because I have not been tracking this week. I've been really bad about it. It's been a crazy, crazy week. And we had a ton of appointments. My patient had a ton of appointments this week and just all kinds of stuff going on. And I just completely forgot to track in my FitnessPal. I still wrote it all down in my little book, my trusty tracker that I've got right here. But, because I carry it in my work bag. But I did not track on my FitnessPal, and I apologize about that. Back to our first thing to the grocery store, because people are going to shoot me because I said I was going to tell y'all your first grocery haul, and then I had just kind of went off on a tangent there talking about everything that you can eat. Girl, when you're sick, it is so hard. One of the biggest things that I can recommend when you're sick, get you some broth. Now, it's best if it's bone broth, but if you can't do bone broth, get some chicken broth and make fatty chicken broth. It'll keep you full, and it also eases your throat. It eases that soreness, and it helps your body to heal because you'll keep yourself in ketosis, and it'll help you to heal. You can just sip on it throughout the day like soup, or it really helped me. My sinuses are in terrible shape. My allergies are just, they've been horrible. This weather is about to kill me, and I completely agree with the post on Facebook about mother. Sorry about that. Somebody tried to call me. I think it was my son. Anyways, what I advise at this point is to just, do the bone broth, Lots and lots and lots of fluids. Up your fluids as much as you can. Well, and I understand that, and that's okay. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it, because we're all human. And the thing is that you were doing so good when you first started that you're going to jump right back in, okay? And when you do, you're going to feel better. When you feel bad, it's hard to stick to stuff. And right now, like, that's one thing for me, and I don't know where my little arrow went. There we go. I was washing out pretty bad there. I had some time back in January. I was pretty bad back in January. But I have found that if I'm better with myself, that I feel better. I've actually started eating avocados. That's one of those perimeter foods that you can get if you like them. I have found that I really like avocados with the spicy herbs and stuff on them. Just like Italian seasonings or Creole seasoning. I do. It's not so much a snack for me yet, but I do like it, and it's a really good source of good fat. So I have been, and your taste buds do change, so I keep trying it to see if I've got to the point where I really like it yet. Stay to the perimeter of the store. So we're going to walk into Walmart. We're walking in. You got your deli on your right. Now, you do have choices there. If you use the deli, okay, and you buy deli meats, you have to ask them to let you see it. Not the meat, the packaging. Okay? If they want to keep it in the thing there and turn it around for you, fine. But look at it. Make sure that it's not... A lot of those meats are cured with sugar. If sugar is towards the end of the ingredient list on there, I don't worry about it so much. One of my favorites here lately has been the Cajun roast beef. But you have to really look at the ingredients, because some of those have a lot of sugar in them. If sugar's in the first 4 ingredients for me, I'm not going to buy it. I'm hoping I get to that point, Lisa. And I think I'm lagging tonight too. Cheeses. It is a great place for you to get cheeses. That right there is in the deli. You can get those hard cheeses. You can have them slice them for you super thin, and then you can use your cheese to make wraps with. Or you can have them slice it thick for you to do, you can have them just do a big chunk for you to take home, and for you to go ahead and shred yourself. Or, just however you want it, because you can use those hard cheeses, the Parmesans, all of those. Oh my goodness, y'all. They're so good. And then I get some of the softer cheeses. My favorite here lately is Baby Swiss. I get it, and I use it just for snacks. And I just nosh on it. Let's see, we're in the deli. All right, we're done with the deli, because you really can't buy nothing off the hot bar. There's nothing. Hard cheeses are best, Lisa. The best thing you can do, and I'll try to see if I can find something and post it either tonight or tomorrow, is the fattiest cheeses that you can get. And a lot of the hard cheeses contain more fat, and that's hard to believe, but they do. And my favorites, the best ones that I've found, yes, spaghetti squash is the best stuff ever, is the Baby Swiss. I buy Monterey, Colby, Pepper Jack, and then I buy Sharp Cheddar. And I get the mozzarella pearls. I don't buy mozzarella in a block. I buy the mozzarella pearls because I like them. And I don't buy this stuff every week, y'all. This is just when I'm doing my meal planning. But the mozzarella pearls is what I have started using in my cheesy meatballs. Or you just make your meatball stuff and then you stick a mozzarella pearl in there and put meat around it. Good stuff. Alright, so we're leaving the deli and you're going over here. Your avocados are right there on your right. You can buy avocados single or in a bag. My recommendation is to buy them single, because in the bag you end up always getting a couple that are really overripe and you can't eat them. You buy them a little bit green, take them home, put them in a window, because they'll ripen up pretty quick. Then you've got spaghetti squash. Now, y'all, spaghetti squash will keep for a very long time if you keep it in a cool area, in a cool, dark area in your home. I put mine, I have a little cooler, actually, that I don't use anymore, and it sits over beside my cabinet. Well, it sits over in the area of the kitchen where it just stays really cool there, and that's where I used to keep my potatoes that I no longer buy. And so now I put my spaghetti squash there, and when it comes in, hey Robin, when it comes on sale, and spaghetti squash does come on sale pretty often, I'll buy spaghetti squash and I'll put it over there in that little container where I used to keep my potatoes, and it'll keep for a while. I had one in there for like 2 months, because it's just, I mean, it's a squash, but it's a hard squash. It won't rot on you as quickly as like a yellow squash will. Same section. Walmart does not have the daikon radish, but Ingles does. And I like daikon radish. Daikon radish can be used as a potato substitute, and I really like it. I have a post in the group where I used it, and I fixed it several different ways, and I have it listed in there how I made it. But now this is, we wanted to cover tonight that first time grocery session. And so that first time when you go in there, my biggest thing is get those dark leafy greens. Okay, you want to get some spinach, some kale. No, they say it don't taste like radish. It don't. If you boil the daikon radish, you cut it into, I cut it into chunks about a little over 1/2 inch thick, and I boiled it with salt and pepper and butter, just like I would potatoes. And once it boiled down and they started getting a little bit soft, not real soft, but a little bit soft, then I pulled it. I fixed them 3 ways. I kept boiling some of them, and then I took some of them out and I fried them in bacon grease. And I also fried them in lard. Now, in lard, those were the best that I had, and they were almost identical to the taste and texture of thick fried potatoes. The ones that I continued to boil, I put a little bit of heavy whipping cream in them to make them like stewed potatoes. Those still had a little bit of a radish bite to them, but not much. They were very good too. Make sure that you go over there and look at that post. I didn't do a video on it, but I did do a post on it, and it had all the stuff in there that I used. As far as our first time grocery, we're in the produce section. Dark leafy greens. You need to get some kale. You need to get some spinach. You need to get some romaine lettuce. You need to get cucumbers. I like red onion. I like green peppers. This is all for you to do a big salad, because those dark leafy greens is where you're going to get your magnesium and your potassium. Those are great sources that are food-based, so that you're not having to rely on something else to get your electrolytes in and to get those vitamins and antioxidants in. I also like to add to mine, I do the baby bella mushrooms. I love those. And then I will add some source of protein to my salad. Most of the time, cucumbers is kind of a, I mean, you don't need to sit down and eat 2 cucumbers, which is what, well, I guess a lot of us do here in the South, because we'll cut them in spears and just eat them with salt. But what I use cucumbers for is in my salad, and I may use 1/4 of a cucumber in a salad, or I'll use them for dipping, and I cut them pretty thin and use them for dipping. I have still eaten them in spears, but I count every single carb that goes into my mouth. And I go on Google. You can go on Google and just search nutritional value and type in what you've got, whether it's a cucumber or whatever. If you're weighing your vegetables, which I've already said I don't have a scale, I don't weigh mine, but I'll go in there and say, green cucumber or summer cucumber, whatever kind of stuff you're using, and it'll tell you. It's pretty accurate. It's the national database. When you Google it, it'll come up, and there's a national database that will tell you the nutritional value of vegetables. In fact, now y'all, my glasses are going to glare now because I'm going to turn my computer back on. But, excuse me. So we've got all that good stuff for salad. Then use a protein source. It don't matter which kind, y'all. Just make sure that you're only using like 3 or 4 ounces of protein. That's where you want to, it's like Lisa said earlier, you got to watch that protein. If your protein gets too high, then you will start to store that excess protein as fat through a process called gluconeogenesis. Now, of course, I had that pulled up before we started this, and of course it's been closed because that's me. But so then you're going to move on over, because we've done our produce section. In the meat section, when you're very first starting, stick with 7327 beef, fatty cuts of beef. If you cannot eat beef, I have people that can't eat beef. It gives them some problems. So if you can't eat beef, then move on to the pork products. Y'all, pork loin, wonderful. Pork chops, the thick cut pork chops with that big strip of fat, perfect. Sausage, bacon, those are definite big ones. For me, one of my favorites, chicken livers. Now, those do not have any fat. Chicken livers don't have fat. They are a transport vehicle for me. You can do white chicken, Whitney, but it doesn't contain as much fat. Make sure that you're eating it with skin on, because the skin is where you're getting that source. And yes, you can eat the breast and stuff. Have you ever tried like chicken thighs baked with hot sauce or anything like that? Maybe try some different seasonings with it. My favorite with dark meat chicken, because I didn't eat dark meat chicken before either. I only ate white meat chicken. But with dark meat chicken, it actually absorbs flavor much better. And if you take dark meat chicken and let it thaw, and then you put, I put pats of butter up underneath the skin, and then do a dry rub with seasonings and put that all over that skin real good, and stick it in the oven and slow roast it, so that it's not that flash roast that you do with like barbecue chicken, but slow roast it for like an hour and 15 minutes under tinfoil, and then release the tinfoil about the last 15 minutes of it so that it crisps that skin up. Oh, dark meat chicken can be delicious then, I promise you. Let's see. Like I said, the livers do not contain fat, but what I do with those are a fat transport vehicle for me, because I make my ranch, and I make my, I do sour cream with Texas Pete and dip my livers in it, and I love it. Kielbasa. Guys, kielbasa is wonderful, and it's full of fat. Hot dogs, but the hot dogs you have to watch. Hot dogs, you have to make sure that you are getting 100% hot dogs. You want something that's got a good fat content in it and no sugar. No sugar. I told you all about the spiral cut ham ends. Those are great. I told you about the cheeses that I enjoy. Let's see, in the dairy section we talked about sour cream and cottage cheese and eggs and butter. Heavy whipping cream. That is an absolute must in this way of eating for me. I buy 2 big cartons and 2 small cartons every week of the heavy whipping cream. And y'all, I can tell that people's doing this program because they wasn't no Pure when I went to the store yesterday. I had to buy one of them little round tubs because there wasn't no bags of Pure, and they told me that they are not going to get it in until the 10th of this month. Crazy. Which will be Tuesday. So y'all better beat me to the store because Tuesday I'm going to go get me some Pure. Heavy whipping cream and cream cheese. Cream cheese is so perfect for when you have those sweet cravings because you can do cream cheese with some butter and a little bit of sweetener, and you can add whatever you want to it. Some cinnamon. You can just do cream cheese with cinnamon or some like cinnamon sweetener. I like to use the Pure, the granulated Pure, and I take it and mix it with cinnamon, just like you would cinnamon sugar before, and I add a little bit of that to cream cheese. Cream cheese, you can eat it on celery. You can eat cream cheese on your steaks. Y'all, it is absolutely delicious on steaks. I would have never thought that, but it is. You can use cream cheese to make fat drinks. I've seen people that have done that. I have not tried it yet. I will be honest about that. I have not tried cream cheese in any of my fat teas or my fat coffee. But I have seen several videos of people that have. So cream cheese. I get blocks and spreadable. Just make sure that it's 100% cream cheese, that it's not, you know, you can't get the flavored cream cheeses. Those have sugar. Let's see. Cabbage. That was the one I missed in produce because I use cabbage a lot. I used to buy a head of cabbage and I'd shred it myself. And now I buy the little bags of the angel hair. It's called angel hair coleslaw, I think is what it's called. Angel hair coleslaw. And all it is cabbage. It don't have the carrots and all that mess in it. Whitney, my BPC every single morning. I make BPC pods on Sunday. I make 6 of them. I have 2 different sizes of disposable condiment containers that I buy at Walmart, and they last a long time because there's like 50 in the small ones and 20 or 25 in the large ones. But in a 5-ounce condiment container, I put 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, 2 tablespoons of butter. I put a half a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. And then I add 2 ounces of heavy whipping cream and 2 ounces of Torani's sugar-free syrup. Now, I have gotten away from the Torani's sugar-free syrup this past week because I ran out and they didn't have any. Cauliflower is an excellent choice. Excellent. You can use cauliflower for anything. They ran out of Torani's and I didn't have any, and so this past week I was literally just putting in, instead of a sweetener, instead of using the Torani syrup as my sweetener, I was using vanilla extract and like half a teaspoon of Pure, and it worked too. And with that option, you got every kind of extract in the world, as long as you get the 100% extracts. You can also look into the edible, the ingestible essential oils. They have those. I'm seriously thinking about getting me a couple of those just because I'd like to try them. And then I just use regular coffee, nothing different. And I have those pods. I make them every Sunday. I put everything into my pods. I stick those pods in my refrigerator. Every morning before I go to work, I have a great big Yeti. And I pour the pod in there first. And I mean, it's pretty much, you know, all that stuff is congealed together. But you just turn it over, pop it down in there. In fact, y'all, this is the one that I was drinking from this evening. Right here. And this one it was only half full. I didn't feel like eating dinner, so I just made me a fat coffee. And so I put it in the container, and then I pour that hot coffee over it. I only pour like half full of the hot coffee, because then I stick my emulsion blender down in there and blend it up with the emulsion blender. And then I pour it on full of coffee and pulse it like 1 or 2 times. Because if you're not careful with an emulsion blender in a tumbler, y'all, you will have coffee all over your nice clean clothes that you just got ready for work for. So make sure that you half full, pulse it up real good, get it all emulsified and creamed up real good, and then pour the rest of your coffee in there and just pulse it a couple of little short times so that it'll mix everything. But that's my fat coffee every day. I drink that every single morning, and it will usually carry me through till about 1 or 2 o'clock, and I drink that at between 7 and 7:30 is when I start drinking it, and I usually sip on that for probably 3 hours. But that fat coffee carries me right through. Coconut oil, we're going to go into the aisles now. Okay, we're not buying boxed goods, nothing in a box. Inside the aisles, you need coconut oil. I buy the Luann's coconut oil. It does not have any flavor to it to me. I make a lot of fat bombs with it. In fact, I have, y'all are going to think I'm so gross, but you've probably seen it on other stuff. When I have been low on fat, I have literally come home and took a spoonful of coconut oil and just sprinkled some cocoa powder on it, or sprinkled some, in fact, I've done it and sprinkled salt on it because I like salt now too. But just ate coconut oil, I did. I have also eaten butter straight if my fat count was too low when I came home. But the truth is that now that I do my meal prepping every week, I already have figured out exactly where my macros are going to be every day. It's just that some days, you get really busy and you don't get to eat that lunch or that snack that you'd set up for yourself. And so you get home and you're like, oh, well, do I want macadamia nuts? Brats are awesome. Just check them for sugar. If they're 100% brats, absolutely. Just check them for sugar. That's the biggest thing, because they do cure a lot of those meats with sugar. And if it's got sausage and stuff in it, if it's a mixed brat, a lot of times it will be cured. Just watch and see where the sugar's at in that ingredient list. For me, if it's in the first 4, it's a no. If it's down towards the bottom of the list, I will try it. I absolutely love brats. I like to make cabbage and put brats in it. I'll do cabbage and put a whole head of cabbage in a pot with just a little bit of water so that it don't scorch. Put a whole stick of butter in it. I'll put a tablespoon and a half of pink Himalayan salt in it, and then brats, and just cut them up. Oh, delicious. It's so wonderful. Speaking of snacks, macadamia nuts. Now at Walmart, macadamia nuts are hard to find. They've got the unsalted ones over in the baking section, but I don't care for those. I like the ones that are salted. The best macadamia nuts I have found are at Ingles. They are the Hawaiian, is it Blue Hawaiian? Is that the name of them? But they're really good. But macadamia nuts are expensive. So you can get macadamia nuts. You can get pecans. You can get almonds. Watch your almonds. Almonds are higher in protein than you expect them to be. So make sure that you actually count those out. The no flavored almonds, unless it's just like the ones that just have cocoa powder on them. But if they have a sweetener, you really have to look at that. Let's see, we're in the aisles. Got to get your coffee, your Torani sugar-free syrup if you want it. The Torani sugar-free syrup is on the coffee aisle. It is over just past the pods. There's a picture on the group. If you go to the pictures on the group page, there's a picture on the group of my Hannah pointing out where the Torani syrup is at. And right now they have hazelnut, caramel, French vanilla, and vanilla at Walmart. At Ingles they have the bigger bottles, but they only carry the French vanilla and vanilla there. I've not seen caramel or hazelnut there. You can also go online to Torani's. I have a bottle of pumpkin spice that is about this big. It is very, very good. And the Torani's is keto friendly. It doesn't stall me. But I mean, you can't drink it. You can't drink 5 ounces of it. You know, you use it to taste, and you'll be fine. In the aisles, what else do we need? We need Pyure. That's Pyure. Right now at Walmart, they do not have the bags of Pyure. They do have the little individual packs. They do have the round container, the granular, the spoonable is what it's called. They have that. That's what I ended up buying yesterday. And they do have the liquid Pyure. I do buy both. I keep the liquid Pyure in my purse so that when I go places, I can squirt it into my, you know, I'll do it with, like, I'll get water with my lemons on the side, and then just squeeze 4 or 5 pieces of lemon into a big water and just a squirt of Pyure. You got lemonade. It's good stuff. Y'all would be surprised at what all I carry in my purse. In fact, that's one of the videos that's going to be uploading this week, is what does the Sassy Keto Nurse carry in her purse. What else do you need to get in the aisles? I do not recommend on your first trip out that you go out and buy coconut flour and almond flour and flaxseed meal and all of that stuff, because truthfully in the beginning you don't need to be trying to do the breads. They are very tempting, and once you start them, it's very hard to stop, because you can use them, you know, to make sandwiches and grilled cheese sandwiches and all this stuff, and those things add up so super fast on your carbs. That first month, super simple. Mostly you're going to do that BPC. In fact, when I went back to, I told y'all that I'd stalled and that I went back to Absolute Basics a few days ago. What I did is I do my BPC in the morning. I have a couple of snacks that I carry with me, some string cheese or my block cheese that I get for shredding. I'll cut it into little cubes and carry that with me. Or I'll do, boy, I'm almost 10 minutes over, y'all. Or macadamia nuts. I really like macadamia nuts. Or my pecan bacon treats. I'll carry a few of those. And then in the evenings, when I come home from work in the evenings, I've been doing my scrambled eggs and bacon. I scramble 3 eggs with, I do 3 eggs with a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I do 4 slices of bacon. And I fry those eggs in that bacon grease. And I put pink Himalayan salt and pepper on them. And then I put a 1/4 to a 1/2 cup, depending on the mood I'm in, of cheese in those eggs. And so I've got cheesy eggs with bacon. I put Texas Pete over my eggs. Drink a little bit of fatty coffee. I'll do a small fatty coffee if I'm eating all that food. And I'm done for the day. Let's see. The last thing I'm going to cover, y'all, because I need to get off here. I promised somebody that I would let y'all know what I do for my ranch. Because those of you that have bought meal plans, I hope they're working out. Please let me know. When you guys use my services, please let me know. Post in the group. Let me know how it works out. You know, I want to follow along with you. I want to be sure that I'm doing this, that it's successful, because if it's not working, then I need to tweak things, okay? I've had a whole lot of people that have utilized the macros calculation services. I've had several that I've been able to do one-on-one coaching with, and it has been great fun to just FaceTime. I will promise you this. I know that you're paying for that 15 minutes. So if I one-on-one coach you during that 15 minutes, what I'm going to ask you to do when you ask for those services, when you request that service, is I'm going to ask you to send me an email that has all of your questions in it, so that I can know those answers, so that 15 minutes is spent on your questions, on what you need to know, so that you and I can work it out in that 15 minutes, and you don't have to go up to 30. I have had a couple that have actually ordered 30 minutes at a time so that we could cover a lot more, and it's worked out great. And I thank y'all so much for supporting me in that. I did not plan when I first started this to charge for any of the services that I provided. But then I found out that I was really taking a lot of time away from my kids to do the things that I do. And if I'm going to take that much time, at least I deserve to get paid for that time and be able to use that money towards, like last night. God bless y'all. Last night I took my kids to the movies, and we went and eat before we went there. And when I come out of the movies, people had ordered enough services that it actually paid for our movie trip. And I told the kids, I said, see, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have that extra money to be able to do stuff like this right now, because we're that's just the way things go. Money don't grow on trees, as we all know. So the last thing I'm going to do is tell you how to make this ranch stuff, because that's one of the things that's a big staple in these meal plans that I sent out, is that ranch dip, because you can use it as dip, you can use it as dressing. Here's what you need, okay? I've got it right on a post-it note, y'all, but you can't read it on there because it's backwards. So you need a tablespoon each of these that I'm going to tell you. Dried chives, dried dill weed. Now with dill weed, you can take that one back a little bit if you want to, if you don't care for the taste of dill. Dried parsley, onion powder, garlic powder, and this is what makes it really, really great, y'all, is dehydrated buttermilk powder. Now you can find that over there on the spice aisle near the, like where the coconut flowers and all that kind of stuff's at. The dehydrated buttermilk powder you can find over there. Then you need a half a teaspoon of thyme and between a quarter and a half a teaspoon of salt. If you use the dried ingredients, you can mix this all up. It makes about 8 tablespoons worth of stuff, which don't sound like a lot, but it's very, very flavorful. You only need 1 tablespoon, where you would use one of them big pouches of the Hidden Valley Ranch dip mix. This, you will need 1 tablespoon, and I do mine in sour cream. I do it in one of the small containers, or not the medium container, the 12 ounce of sour cream, full fat sour cream, 1 tablespoon of that stuff. You have got ranch dip that you can dip anything in the world that you've got in the house in, and I do. If you want dressing for your salad out of ranch, you take 2 tablespoons of that ranch dip, put it in a small bowl, add a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, and stir the toad out of it, or use your emulsion blender, and it thins it out enough that you can use it as dressing over your salad. You can just put it in one of them little squeezy bottles. You can get those at the Dollar Tree, the little squeezy salad dressing bottles, and you can just fill that up with that ranch dressing. How much buttermilk powder? A tablespoon. It's a tablespoon of everything except the dried thyme and the salt, and those are between a 1/4 and a half teaspoon, depending on your taste. And you will, now after that first time that you make it, you'll figure out, I might want a little more of the dill in here, or maybe if I put a little more thyme or a little more salt. I like a little extra salt in mine, but I love salt. So it has been great talking to you guys tonight. It has been a long one. This one's gone 1 hour and 15 minutes, but we really didn't get everybody on until about 15 minutes in. So please share the video so that other people will see it, and I can help as many people as I possibly can. Please go over to the page. Make sure that you like and follow the page so that you will start getting updates there. I have made the decision, and I know last week I said that on April 21st that the group would close. That is no longer going to happen. The group will stay open because the page is public. The page is always public. It is not closed. And I want to have that group that remains closed to give people that venue. Plus, on the page, it's not as easy for y'all to post. You can make posts. You can make your post on there. But it's not as easy as it is in the group for us to have conversations and stuff. So I want to keep the group open. So it's going to stay open. Watch for new videos on YouTube popping up. I'm going to have several as soon as they get this, whatever's wrong with my page. Right now it's not letting me upload anything that's over 4 minutes. And a lot of the videos run about 8.5 to 10 minutes a piece. So as soon as they get that fixed, then that will be popping up. The web page has been put off for a little bit because they wanted to charge me a ridiculous amount of money to hear my opinion, and I don't have that amount of money. So once that money is sitting in a savings account somewhere, then the web page will come up, or if I find a better source to use for my web page, because it's really just going to be a blog and a resource opportunity. So you guys, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope to see everybody Monday night. Monday night we're going to start the book review. What I had recorded the prologue and first 2 chapters of that book, and y'all want to hear it. This book is awesome. This book opened my eyes. As a nurse, this book opened my eyes to how many medical lies I have told. And yes, Sheila, you can use hot tea. Absolutely. You can use hot tea. You can use broth. I have found in the evenings, because I quit drinking all kinds of Cokes and soda pops and all that kind of thing. I quit drinking the Diet Dr. Peppers last week, and I finally got off of those after all this time. And so I have found that the hot tea, the fruity hot teas, are delicious. Plus, you can use them to make ice cream. So that's delicious too. All y'all new guys that I'm seeing on here, please come over, join the group if you haven't already. If you're in the group and you have a question, feel free to ask. I'm just like all of y'all. They ain't nothing. I don't look down on nobody. I don't judge nobody. And I just want to help people. I just want to help people feel as good as I do. So y'all make sure you ask questions. If you know somebody that needs this help, get them on here. Talk to them. Share these videos. Share my post. Get them over to YouTube. Right now, y'all, I've had a ton of views on YouTube. Everybody's going over there and watching the videos, but nobody's liking. It's a thumb. It's a thumbs up, y'all. Hit the thumbs up when you watch those videos, please. Because the more thumbs up you get, the higher it puts you on the view list, and then they open up new resources that you can use. And that's part of what's happened with I had my YouTube channel to where I could do 15-minute videos, and they've dropped me down because I didn't have enough likes and shares and subscribers. So y'all get over there. Subscribe. Sassy Keto Nurse on YouTube. All of my stuff is on the page and on the group. Love you guys. Hope you have a great weekend. See y'all next Saturday.